How do we know about the past? We need evidence. Historians use 4 different kinds of sources about the past: literary evidence, or poetry and prose; epigraphic evidence, or inscriptions and graffiti; numismatic evidence, or coins; and archaeology, or artifacts and architecture. Each of these types of evidence provides its own insights into the past, and all were created in order to serve some function and to convey some sort of message or idea. Together, all 4 types of evidence allow scholars to gain an understanding of past events and cultures. Just as modern scholars use these types of evidence to understand the past of various cultures and societies, ancient Romans used literature, inscriptions, coins, buildings, and artifacts to understand their own past. The Roman historian Livy wrote a very large history of Rome in Latin entitled Ab Urbe Condita, or in English, From the Foundation of the City of Rome. As the title suggests, Livy's history began with the foundation of Rome by Romulus, continued through the reigns of Romulus and 6 other kings, continued into the period of the Roman Republic when Rome was ruled by an aristocracy, described the period of civil war ending the Republic, and ended with the beginning of the imperial period when Rome was ruled by an emperor. Unfortunately, much of the history has been lost. Livy's history was 142 books long. For classicists, the term book refers to the amount of text that would have been on an ancient papyrus scroll. You can think of these books as similar to chapters. Classicists divide each book of prose into chapters and number the chapters in sequential order. You can think of the chapters as similar to paragraphs. From Livy's history, only 35 books survive, the earliest 10 books on the monarchy and early republic, and several books from the middle of the republic about the important wars with Carthage. The first book of Livy's history begins with a preface, and then he describes how Romulus founded the city of Rome and its political institutions. Livy uses his preface to tell the reader what he thinks about the genre of history, how he wants to be evaluated as a historian, and the themes and topics of his history. Therefore, as you read Livy's preface and the story about how Romulus founded Rome, think about these questions. What does Livy think about the questions? What is the purpose of history? And what is the proper subject of history? Also think about, what are the themes and topics of Livy's history? As you read, it is important for you to remember that Livy lived from 59 BC, or 59 years before the commonly accepted date for the birth of Jesus, until AD 17, or 17 years after the birth of Jesus. Livy is looking back at the past to the time of Romulus in about 753 BC. Livy provides his readers with his own interpretation of the evidence available to him. He is also writing a piece of literature which he hopes will be entertaining and useful to his readers. Therefore, as you read, you should also think about these questions. What literary devices does Livy use in his preface and the historical section of his text? And how much historically accurate information can modern historians obtain from Livy's text?